no matter what the government does, no matter what the private sector does, if as citizens we don't love each other, respect each other, no policy can make you not do these dastardly acts, you know what I mean?
And that is one part of it, Mistress Kitty. And the second part of it, when you talk about citizenship, we have a responsibility as citizens. I think that we have developed such a love with family members that when they begin to show signs of certain behaviors, we condone, we put up with.
Enable.
The truth of the matter is that we expect the government to respond strongly to a lot of these things that are happening in the country, and they should. But if you, the Clarendon, and you have an idea who do this, you can't expect Mr. Holness to left from up there, so come down here, so come fine. Like, if you know something, say something. You understand? We've gotten to a point now in our life where people need to take responsibility and understand, say, once you know who the perpetrators are, when they talk out on the mouth, man.
And that's not being an informer, by the way, because people will assume or say, oh, we're not being an informer. You're an informer, I guess, if you're in the gang and you're talking and you're giving information. But if I'm a citizen for good and I know something and I can help, because guess what? If it was your family member, you'd want somebody to say something.
Yeah, man.
You'd want somebody to help. Yeah, man. You know, but when I hear these things, it breaks my heart. And I'm just always saddened by it.
Absolutely.
Always saddened.
17 people impacted. It's crazy.
Mind-boggling.
That's a lot, man.
Crazy. Next up, I heard you guys talking about our athletes, so let's move on to some sports.
Lighter.
Has athletics moved on from bowls? So we saw this in the Observer. According to the World Athletics President, Sebastian Coe, an extraordinary group of athletes at the Paris Olympics has gotten some way in filling the void left by our very own legend, Usain Bolt.
Let us be clear. No one is indispensable, but some people are irreplaceable. Both are one done. There's no comparison. Mr. Cole, with the greatest of respect, okay? Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
That's right.
You have to get 10 dozen athletes to replace one boss. And he can never be replaced. Because I kid you not, TK, when Bolt was on the track, the world stood still.
Children in primary, secondary, tertiary schools, also community-based organizations serving those with special needs. And we hope to see everybody in 2024.
Okay, so the macaron is actually a French pastry. It's made with almond flour, so not like the coconut macaroon, which is actually made with coconut.
Okay, interesting. Okay, all right. So talk to me about the idea behind this business and why, you know, Jamaicans would be gravitating toward this sweet treat.
All right, so right now I have a petit four display for you guys, and I also have the famous Olympic chocolate muffin.
Oh, wow.
So for you guys to try. The macaron actually started out of a desire, and I believe that once you give life to your desire, at the end of the day, God actually grants your wish. So God actually makes the way. And so I've always loved baking. I've always loved food. And I decided to bet on myself and took a leap of faith and sold everything that I had and went to Paris.
Oh, wow.
And went to eventually the south of France to study. And I came back here, and you have what is in front of you now, all classic French desserts.
Wow.
How do you stop a Jamaican? So for somebody like me who have some food allergies here and there, you know, do we have to be concerned? Can I just eat comfortably?
All right, so the macaron actually has almond flour in it, so it's made with almonds. So if you have any nut allergy, yes, I would tell you not to participate in it at all. But
do you have any other? Do you have the coconut macaron?
No, not today, but
yes,
we do actually offer it as well.
Okay.
So what you do catering? So because I'm looking right now, MPG, may I say a little niece birthday party? Yeah, because you know I'm a little Gladys now with the pips, and I'm like, okay,
so we know this.
But I got said, me now I keep our first birthday party. But now that I'm looking at these, I'm like, wow, these are pretty.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So what events? For what events do you cater?
So we actually do tea parties with classic tea servings, meaning that we do clotted cream with jam and scones. We also do the traditional French petit fours. That's what you have here. So we have, for example, our blueberry tart. We have our macarons. We have our small petit four cakes here as well. And of course, we have our pavlova.
What's a pavlova?
A pavlova is also another classic French dessert that was made for a ballerina.
Oh wow, Juilliard, not ballerina farms. Yeah.
And hence the name pavlova, because it's actually taken from the ballerina's name.
Okay, wow. See, you learn every day. Yeah.
So I know we have heard persons, emotionally eat. Them eat and eat and eat and get out of control, and we judge from a distance. But there's something called emotional spending as well. So we are exposed to something in our culture now, especially now, YOLO. If you feel fit, do
you
it.
live only
you
once.
live only once. And while the narrative sometimes a portion of it may be true, but when it comes to your financial life, suppose you are the one that lives to 70 and 75 and 80. We can't just be out there spending like that because we feel for something nice. One of the biggest block to our goals is really you and your emotions. Sometimes that's the biggest hurdle that we have to get over. If we have no discipline, then that sometimes drives us in the wrong direction. We're going back where we should be going forward. So what is emotional spending? It is really a tendency to spend money in response to an emotional state of being.
Me teacher.
Yes,
I just want to put a pin right here, because anything that's normally related to emotions, people always ascribe that to females. And we just want to make it explicitly clear. So this is something that affects men just as much, if not more. Because alcohol is emotional spending.
You start the class early. Come do some research on
brightness.
It impacts both male and female.
Yes.
While they may go in different directions, women may do retail or get some clothes and shoes and whatever the case is, men may go for gadgets or you say rum or alcohol. But it equally impacts both male and female.
Or buy a new car.
Or just buy a new car. But what are some of the emotional state which pushes persons to go and do some emotional spending? Number one, stress or anxiety. Or sometimes you may feel a little bored. I may feel bored with that bag, I want something different right now. Or you may be extremely happy and you think you need to celebrate by spending some money. Or you may be sad, or you may be upset, anger or frustration. You're tired of this, so you want to do something, but it's not out of the emotion where we should be spending, but Tansa back a little bit. But emotional spending can lead to a myriad of things. Number one, impulsive purchases. You just get up this morning, Andrew, and you just go buy something. No thought goes into this. You just go and buy. That's impulsive buying.
You know what I like to do? I like to impulsively go online and fill a cart. But me not check out.
You fill your card. We all have cards. We're full of things. I'm going to cash them out. All right?
Yes, I definitely think physics gets a really bad reputation, and I think it has a lot to do with the way that it's taught. I'm very passionate about physics education because, as you can imagine, if we taught physics in a way that was related to things that we are passionate about and that we know a lot about, like sports and music, it would really help with increasing the number of people who pursue careers in physics. So that's something that I'm really passionate about as well.
So let's just bring it to home, Doctor, because the people I want to include myself. So what does physics have to do with the daily life of the normal man, the normal woman? How does physics factor into daily life?
Yeah, so I'll start by what interested me in physics and why I really loved it. So my teacher in high school, Mr. Thompson, he would teach me physics in a way that everything he taught me would be related to something in the world around me. So when I learned about physics, I was really learning about everything around me and why everything is the way that it was. And so that's what really ignited my curiosity. Because I was always curious growing up and always asking questions about why things are the way that they are. In general, physics is very important just on a daily basis. A lot of the things that we interact with, even the internet right now that we're using, all of these came out of trying to communicate science with other people, trying to conduct experiments, trying to understand the world around us more.
Wonderful. Let us backtrack a little bit. Can you tell us about your journey from Mandeville, Jamaica to the diaspora, and you know, tell us how you got to Brown University? To walk us through that, please.
Yes. So as I mentioned before, my high school teacher, Mr. Thompson, taught me physics, and I was very curious in general growing up. And so when I started learning physics and learning about the world around me, it really, I started being very passionate about physics. And so when I attended Hampton, I was pursuing both the sciences and the arts. Believe it or not, I wanted to be a lawyer. And so when I was applying to colleges, I really wanted to go somewhere that I could study the arts and the sciences more.
Yes.
But when I decided to go to Columbia, my professor who taught me my introductory physics class, he was actually a scientist at the lab that I work for now. So CERN in Switzerland is a particle physics lab. And he would talk about his career and the things that he studied, and I was in awe. I had never known anything about particle physics before, and it really seemed like something that I would love to do.
Conversation happening around Vybz Kartel's release, would he have a case against the state for malicious prosecution and or false imprisonment? Criminal defense attorney at law and managing partner of Black Law and Associates, Ludlow Black, joins us this morning to break down all the legalese and the legal jargons to help us understand what's at stake right here on Law & Order JA. Welcome, Mr. Black. How are you, sir?
I'm great.
Very well, counsel. Now, lots of people have been asking the question, because now that he is free, out in these streets, what's next for Mr. Palmer in terms of a civil suit?
All right. I think that the issue of a malicious prosecution suit might not be the best thing for him to do at this time. Reason being that malicious prosecution is a very difficult tort to establish. He would have to prove, as a claimant, would have to prove that the prosecution was initiated against him. It was done without reasonable and probable cause. It was resolved in his favor, which he's acquitted now. And then now he'd have to prove malice on top of that. So to get over those hurdles is very difficult.
And in his case, because there was forensic evidence, there were witnesses, so the state can say, but listen, this wasn't a frivolous case, right? We had this amount of evidence. We had physical evidence, forensic evidence, witnesses coming in, and we had a trial. So where is the malice aforethought? But just for our viewers, Mr. Black, what is malicious prosecution and false imprisonment?
Well, malicious prosecution is really when the state takes action against you, and they did it in a way that is not proper, in that they had no grounds, no honest belief that you were guilty of anything, and they continue to press on with the case nonetheless. False imprisonment is a little bit different. False imprisonment is when you're arrested and locked up, and there's no grounds for you to be locked up. You're just there languishing longer than the constitutional time that you're allowed, which is 72 hours. So that is the really distinction. I think that persons might look on and say, he could make a claim, but knowing the law and being aware of it, you know that the nitty-gritty is there, that you can't get around. However, there might be something for him to go on as far as constitutional rights or constitutional breach. That is something that the Court of Appeal and the Privy Council echoed, that, hey, the constitutional right was breached given the issue with the jury.
The poison.
And so I think that might be an angle for him to go on. What his damages might be is for us to wonder and to think about. We're not sure.
Well, you know, My father was a surveyor and land developer, and my brother was in real estate.
Yes.
So I thought, hey, if I went into law, then we just coin the market, everyone. But then it didn't work out. My brother went different directions. He did a movie and script writing in the music business, and so I ended up in, criminal law.
Wow. So being a criminal defense attorney and being friends and lawyer to Bob Marley, what was that like for you?
Well, to be friends with Bob and just the association, was my introduction really to Rastafari.
Yes.
So that was very significant and important in my life, milestone, so to speak.
Yes.
And then, I got to know some of the ghetto youth itself. So when you do get to know the people you are defending, it makes a big difference,
Yes.
Otherwise, it would, have been a difference, You would have been defending them from a different perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
What drives you in terms of, your years and your career? Talk to me about some of the most memorable cases, if you can. Obviously, without calling names, but, persons for whom you've stood up and defended.
Well, you have to say, most of the cases are the ones that I defend. It's the same, I don't look at what high-profile case, or I don't even like to say my name in a newspaper much less. But, so I treat each case equally, It might be, I just treat each equally.
Each case equally.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the One Love film about which we spoke earlier, did you watch it? Did you see it?
Yes, and I wonder how you knew I was in there, because if you blinked, you would have missed me.
Blinked. But talk to us about what was it like to see that small depiction of yourself there.
Well, I wasn't looking for myself, to tell you the truth. I was more concentrating on the whole aspect of the movie, of the Bob Marley movie. If this was the image that I thought the world was waiting to see,
Yes.
This is Bob Marley. I can't say I was impressed.
Yes.
Great production, all the nice bells and whistles, but I think if they would have concentrated more on the content of the script and the story that they were depicting of Bob Marley, then,
In your humble view, what was missing?
The real essence of Bob Marley. What we got? Bob Marley, Richard's husband. Bob Marley, the musician. Bob Marley, the entertainer. Is that the essence of Bob Marley?
And friends.
That is me. So I was born and raised in Augustown, right down at Jungle 12. Grew up very poor. We never had money, so we couldn't talk about having the money because it just wasn't there. Over the years, with learning and being exposed to different things, I realized anybody can be wealthy. No matter where you come from, there are specific principles. Whoever follows them, you're going to build wealth. And that started Profit Jumpstarter, which is our movement around financial education. We want as many people as possible to be wealthy.
Yes.
And the Build Wealth Conference is when all of us come together now in a room. I'm flying in experts from all over the world into the room this week, August 16 to 18, to come and share insights on how you want to build wealth. Just tips and tricks, strategies that you can implement to get to that next level. Because people just want somebody to boss them.
Yes.
Show them the thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
Say it no, man.
And what I love about Keisha's, approach is that once you're willing to learn, she don't gatekeep. And she now hold the information or hoard the information. Because I tend to find, especially people of the Negroid race, we're very cagey. I wouldn't want to tell nobody. I was just selfish with it. And I'm saying, so are you alone just want to have it? Because if you alone have it in Keisha, eventually you're going to become the prey.
Yep.
If everybody else around you is suffering. Please talk to us about some of the persons who will be present and what exactly will we be talking about. Because some of the people them to Keisha are saying that, listen, every time I go to these conferences, people talk and talk and talk, but I don't really leave with anything or any real money-making thing. I leave with a bag with book and one water bottle. How is Build Wealth Conference different from all others?
Built different.
Yeah. So it's not a feel good, and you feel happy, you go, you're broke. And you say, my payment ticket, I'm going to get none. It's coming to implement. One thing I believe, knowledge is nothing without execution.
Amen.
So we are giving you the knowledge, but we're also going to help you to execute. We have a lot of partners who are on board with us to help you to execute what you're going to learn. What we also decided to do was to bring in people to hear their stories. We have non-traditional millionaires, billionaires like myself, left the corporate world, coming now to teach people what to do. We have PJ Wright. He's coming to dispel all of his strategies. We have Leah Hudson.
By PJ Wright, we're talking about daydreams.
Daydreams.
Yeah, so
yes.
Daydreams.
The context.
Right.
Negril. Yeah.
So they're coming to show you, he's coming to show you different strategies. We'll also have Leah Hudson coming from behind the camera to come in front of the camera now to share his story and how he's growing his businesses and being successful doing that as well. We have people coming in from overseas. We have persons locally as well. We have Dr. Kesha Christie, who is a taxation expert, you know our team. We have the Pinnacle on board with us sharing insights about real estate in Jamaica.
Yes.
A whole heap.
Recycling partners of Jamaica. Yeah, we got to make a change, and we have to do it now, can't wait for later. We put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the gullies and in the drains. Recycling partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place, yeah, the place of the clean. PET, the top of the ethylene. HDPE, buckle up, it get screen. Baby to granny, everybody roping. Yeah, we got to go green, you know what I mean. See the sign from the bin, if we drop it in, true car window you fling, that another thing. And we don't want no garbage in this game. No, we handle it up, bug them are not the same. So listen up, Jamaica, I'm saying it's time to make a change. Recycling partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the gullies in the every range. Recycling partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place.
I really think sometimes it's the self-talk, and it's sometimes not the other people but ourselves. And people sometimes project their insecurities on you and think, oh, you're too much, you're too enough. But as I've always said, do you ever think that maybe you're too little, you're smalling up yourself too much? And so I am not the problem. I am being me and being true to myself. So maybe you have to bring yourself up, fortify your self-esteem so you can feel good about yourself so that you can shine too.
I find that the imposter syndrome is a real thing.
Yeah.
I find that for a lot of us, and I say us, from humble beginnings, it is that self-talk and that self-coaching is absolutely important, especially when you have people who are looking on who are most critical, who the difference is that you are on this side, right? They get to see you, but you don't get to see them. So when them tell you about yourself, you can't tell them about for themselves, because they have evidence on account of the fact that you are on screen, but you don't have none. You see what I'm saying? So when you look in the comment section, you really have to be able to pinpoint the people them who probably under them bed no stay so right, or under them rug have some muck underneath it, or whatever the case may be, and not necessarily start to have that imposter syndrome where you feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't belong, on account of where one comment where one person leave on the thing. The self-talk something real, the self-sabotage something is also very real. Like we have people out there with immense capabilities, but just don't actually believe, say, them have it.
And then when they believe that, and then them say, you know, Miss Pearlie Grandson achieve it, they have a problem with you, when really MPG is not the problem. The problem lies within. And so for me, it's always, you know, what will make you shine? Why do you feel so intimidated by others? So the fact of the matter is the person is not intimidating you, you know, is you taking on the intimidation.
Imposter.
Right? The imposter syndrome, because you don't feel strong enough, or you don't feel confident enough to get in the game. You prefer to stay on the sidelines and complain and find fault and critique people.
That word, confidence. You see confidence? Me say it already, I'm going to say it again. You're not for pretty.
Yes.
By conventional definitions. You say confidence make you take on the world.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
The confidence, like when you want chihuahua. Like, you don't know how small you be.
Yes.
And you feel like you can take on like a bulldog.
Yes.
That is confidence. Like you have to believe in a you.
Yeah.
You have to know, say, you have it. If you're not believing in you, you're already defeated, friend.
Definitely.
You're already defeated.
Definitely. And then everything that everybody does now becomes a problem because other people's success represents that which you cannot attain or have not attained.
That is it.
Because again, Andrew, it comes back to you have to have the discipline and the consistency and the stick-to-itiveness to achieve what it is that you want.
Yes.
And so many people are keyboard bad people, keyboard gangsters, right? And they stay behind the screens and they berate others and them find fault and them try to bring down and them try to rub out.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you know, it's so funny that the people they're trying to rub out have something to rub out. They feel them paper empty.
Absolutely.
Empty. Nothing
Absolutely.
is there, you know? So
Absolutely.
I do understand what she's saying. And sometimes we have to look within instead of just looking without.
Yeah.
What is it about me, why I feel this way? What do I need to work on about myself so that I don't feel intimidated by anyone?
And why do you have 99 people telling you, yes, you are capable, you're good enough, you're qualified, but you have 2 people telling you, no, you can't do it. Where you come from, I try,
Yes.
whatever. And that's where the self-sabotage comes in.
Yes, because you listen to that.
Because you listen to the, if you were to go based upon the ratio, you would have know, say, the people them were believing in you
More than the
far
people that-
outweigh
yeah.
the naysayers.
Yes, yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Don't listen to the loud minority. Do not give in to the loud minority. Your
Profound.
empty barrel make the most noise. Many times the loud minority are the most underqualified, unqualified, people who have achieved nothing. When you say, all right then, show me your CV, let me see what you do. Let me see what you accomplish. Because like how you're being so hard on me, and you bring me down, let me see what you do then. Because maybe you is a physicist, or you graduate and me don't know, you touch the moon.
The people them will take them picnic lunch money, buy credit so they can put on data, they come on the internet, come make trouble.
Be a menace.
Yes.
Yeah. So guys, just believe in yourself, and whenever you feel any kind of, unsurety, you feel the imposter syndrome coming on, just remind yourself that you are worthy. Perk up.
Perk up, man.
And don't listen to the loud minority. They are around there, and many times, the good and the positive far outweigh the bad.
Absolutely.
Human beings all are we, and me know how it go. Trust me know how it go. But at the end of the day, to thine own self be true, and once you believe in you, your capabilities and your abilities, you can accomplish all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Sky's the limit.
Yes.
Sky's the limit. Well, that's where we wrap the show for today. Yay. Thank you for spending the better part of your morning with us.
Yes.
Before we go, we want to send.
Yes.
We want to send a shout out to Malika Russell. Malika.
Oh, Malika. Hi, Malika.
Malika. I'm sorry, darling.
Yes.
Daughter of CVM's tape operator, Carlisle Russell. Carlisle, big up yourself and big up your daughter.
She got the bronze medal?
A bronze medal at the 2024 Caribbean Junior Cycling Championships held yesterday in St. Martin.
Nice.
That's a beautiful
Congratulations.
thing. It's a big